In this video we're going to derive the Jacobi Accessory equation. Now this is named after Karl Gustav Jakob Jacobi. He was born 1804 and died in 1851 in Prussia, which is now modern Germany, so a German mathematician. Now the Jacobi Accessory equation is the second order equivalent of the Euler-Lagrange equation. Also, once we've finished this derivation, the very next video we do will be another derivation of this, and the second derivation we do is a lot more intuitively obvious, and I think you'll get more out of it. But let's just continue and we'll finish and we'll work through this derivation. So we're going to have this page here, and there's a couple of equations on the next page, and that'll be us done. We start off with the second variation, which we have here. We're going to write it in a simplified form. So we're going to replace the partial squared f by partial y squared with f naught naught, and the partial squared f by partial y derivative squared with f11, and the partial squared f by partial y derivative with f01. And we're going to put these into the equations here. So that means that this equation here simplifies to this. So it just makes it easier for us to write it. We'll just check and see we've got that right. So that's the squared term there, and that's the f naught naught, and we've got eta squared. We've got the eta derivative squared, which is this one here, and it's the f11, okay, and we've got the 2 eta derivative, and that's the centre one here, which is this one, which is f01. Okay, so what we're going to do is knock this into the common form that you will see for this second order Euler-Lagrange, and there's just a few steps we're going to work through. So if we were to rewrite this up here, and we'll keep this term exactly the same, and we'll keep this term here exactly the same, but this term here, that can be rewritten as f01 d by dx of eta squared. Now you can see why that is. It's if you were to multiply, do this differentiation here, then if we were, it would be an implicit differentiation, so we would have the d by dx of eta squared. Well, that would be d by dx of eta squared, which would be the 2 times our eta times d eta by dx. Okay, so it's just implicit differentiation. So that d eta by dx is eta derivative, so that's going to be 2 eta derivative. Okay, so that means that this line here is just the same as this line up here. So now what we can do is we'll leave this exactly as it is here, and also this one here, we'll just leave that as the same as well, and that's it over here. But what we're going to do is we'll do the differentiation by parts on this one, and that will give us this term down here. Now we want to do differentiation parts because we don't want any of the eta values to be within the differentials here. We want the eta to be outside because we're going to be working through the same process that we did whenever we derived the Euler-Lagrange equation. We want to separate the eta out, because the eta is our variation, and we know our variation is not equal to 0, so what's left over will be the thing that will be equal to 0. So we use the integration by parts. Now again, you should always make sure that you understand integration by parts. We've worked through it quite a few times in the previous video course. Now just as a quick reminder here, to do this here, what we want to do is we want to take the eta squared out of the differentials. To do that, we multiply by a negative, so we get a negative here. So that's the first thing we can do. We can take the eta squared out, so the eta squared comes out, and then the f01 will go inside, so f01 goes inside, so we'll have this here. So that's us used our integration by parts in order to get the eta out of this. If we head down to the next line, what we can do is we can take out the common factor now of the eta squared here. So I've taken out the common factor of eta squared. It's left with us the f00 and the minus d by dx over f01. Now this term here, what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite that, and we're going to rewrite it using integration by parts, but in effect we're using the integration by parts backwards. So this line here is exactly the same as this line, and I've shown that down below here. If we take this minus eta d by dx f11 eta dash, okay, and we actually do integration in parts on this, we'll get back up to this line here, and you can see that we've done this here. So to do integration by parts on this, we have the negative sign here, we have another negative whenever we do the integration by parts. The f11 eta derivative comes out, and the eta goes back inside here. So that's going to be left to leave us with the minus and minus cancel out, so we'll give our f11, and this is going to be our eta derivative, and we've already got an eta derivative, so that's eta derivative squared. So it means that this here is just the same as this here. So let's head on to the next page and we'll finish off this derivation. So this equation here is just the last equation from the previous page. Now we're going to work through the same process we did whenever we derived the Euler-Lagrange equation. We're taking out the factor of eta x out of this, okay, so we're only going to be left with one eta there, and we've to get rid of the eta out of this. Now we might be tempted at this point here to say we can use the fundamental lemma in order to say that we know that the eta of x doesn't equal 0, so in order for this integral to equal 0, what's inside the brackets here must equal 0. But that's not quite true, because we've not been able to get rid of this eta, so there's still another factor of eta within inside this bracket here. So what we do is we introduce another term, so we introduce another function. So the other function we introduce is the function, and we just call it a function u. So we're going to replace this eta here, an eta derivative, with the u and the u derivative. So in order for this whole equation to equal 0, what we do is we make sure we pick the function u such that this equation here is equal to 0, and this equation here is called it's a Jacobi accessory equation. So this is our second variational equivalent of our Euler-Lagrange equation. So what we're going to do is we'll work through another derivation of this equation, and the other derivation we work through, it will give you a much more intuitive understanding of the relationship between this function u of x and the function eta of x. So that's all for this video. I'll get you on the next video. Goodbye.